If you are part of the 95% of our audience that is not subscribed, please consider doing so.
Pre-show cheers.
Pre-show cheers. Here we go. Cheers to you.
And cheers to you, my friends.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Major League Baseball, shall we?
Absolutely.
I'll do a little bit of a therapy session. What do you think? Let's do a little
therapy.
Let's do a little woo-saw on this. And what I want to do is we're going to do a video where we're going to kind of have a therapy session. We're just going to air it all out and get all our grievances out on our favorite teams. Before we do the Dodgers, let me quickly say this. If you have a team that you'd like us to do an air grievances for, let us know in the comments down below. If you're a Yankees fan, Mets fan, and you want us to do the same thing and say, hey, with a what went wrong video, we'll definitely do that for you.
Absolutely.
Let us know.
Let us know who. We'll dive in and tell you what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. The Los Angeles Dodgers have won 10 out of the last 11 division. Like, they won their division 10 out of the last 11 years. In that year, they didn't win the division. They had 106 wins, and they immediately beat the team that beat them by one game in the regular season, which was the Giants. They beat them in the first round.
That's pretty impressive.
That's some domination baseball.
Yeah.
They've been the most winningest team in baseball in the last decade. So this is a team of dominance, and the only World Series they have to show for it right now is a shortened season 2020 World Series championship. Now, I will say that it does count. Every team had a chance to win that one, and you actually had to win 2 more games to win that World Series than any World Series in history. With that said, does that count as much as any other regular World Series? Absolutely not. Like, a regular World Series won in 1983 counts more than the 2020 World Series. So until you win with a 162 game schedule, it just doesn't matter as much. So the Dodgers come into this somehow winning 100 games this season, and they face exactly what they did last year. The Dodgers come in winning their division by more than 10 games, and they immediately lose to the next team in the division that was more than 10 games behind them in the regular season. But what's worse about this year is they got swept by a team in the Arizona Diamondbacks versus they at least won 1 game against the San Diego Padres last year.
That'll make you angry.
That'll make you very much angry. It is in a decade of dominance in baseball, where the Dodgers have made the World Series 3 years. Now, one, you can say, yes, 2017, completely different scenario. The Astros were cheating. Who knows what that game would have been.
Cheaters.
Yeah. Probably would have gotten the ring there, right?
Yep.
But it doesn't matter. They didn't take the championship away, so it is what it is. And, in 5 years from now, no one's going to remember the cheating Astros, So you didn't get a chance to win there. You made it to the World Series in 2018, which I honestly would think that they don't even deserve to be in that one, but somehow they lucked out and got past the Milwaukee Brewers and somehow found their way to the World Series and just got dumped on by the Red Sox.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Max Muncy hitting a home run in the 18th freaking inning of that game in LA, the Dodgers wouldn't even won a game. But let's go ahead and pull back here and talk about why I think the Dodgers lost this year.
Okay.
And it all starts with starting pitching. So let's talk about the starting rotation for the Los Angeles Dodgers when this season started. You had Clayton Kershaw, Julio Urias, Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, and they would have a 5th starter in, I believe there's another one that they were thinking of, but pretty solid rotation, right? Bunch of all-stars there. Tony Gonsolin, Clayton Kershaw, first ballot Hall of Famer. So you definitely had Dustin May has ace material. Frontline starter coming off of Tommy John surgery. They looked good. The starting pitcher for the Dodgers looked good. So Dustin May was supposed to come off and have a breakout year, but he goes out with an elbow injury within the first couple starts. He's out for the rest of the year. Walker Buehler, who was wanted to return back in September, never made it, never returned. All-star Tony Gonsolin, he goes down halfway through the season with Tommy John surgery. He's out for the rest of the year.
Jeez, I didn't realize the Dodgers were battling so many injuries.
No, we're not done. Clayton Kershaw goes out with a shoulder injury, and when he comes back, he's a shell of himself and barely can throw 90 miles an hour.
Weak-ass shoulder.
That's your game 1 starter for the playoffs, by the way.
Yep.
And then Julio Urias, the game 1 starter for the season, which is the ace kind of designation. And when you start for your opening day, you start your ace. Gets arrested and is released from Major League Baseball. So
perfect.
Yeah. And so the Dodgers do try to go out and get Justin Verlander, who had a no trade clause, who decided he's going back to Houston or nowhere else. So he goes back to Houston. They try to get Eduardo Rodriguez, Erod, and he just I guess, doesn't want to win and decides to stay in Detroit. So that trade goes through. And so they grasp for straws and they grab the only pitcher they can, which was Lance Lynn, Mr. BP himself, Mr. Home Run Derby pitcher himself. So the Dodgers set the record for most starts by NL team for pitchers this season. They started 5 rookies for starting pitching this season. And yeah, that happened in the postseason. We had Bobby Miller, who was lights out during the regular season, did go into and did have a game 2 start, but also got lit up in the first inning of his start as well. Gave up 3 runs. Clayton Kershaw gave up 6 runs in a third of an inning, by far the worst of his career. But honestly, like I said in a previous video, he was hurt.
Right.
He was already hurt. Nothing doing, right? And let's go ahead. That's pitching. So in my opinion, the Dodgers had no business being in the playoffs this year, having that kind of luck when it comes to starting pitching.
Right.
They had no business being in the playoffs at all. It just kind of speaks to the depth of the division that they somehow still pulled out 100 wins and still made it to and still got a first week bye. I agree with you. A little bit of rest there probably didn't help. Bats got cold. But in the MVP race, the NL MVP race, there were top 3 were Ronald Acuna, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman. Those were the top 3.
Right.
So number 2, number 3 candidates for MVP this season. Guess what they went for in the playoffs?
What?
1 for 21.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
That's hurty.
Yeah.
That's painful.
Matt Olson and Ronald Acuna were definitely better than that. And that one hit was a legged out single from Freddie Freeman. It was an epic failure across the board. The front office built a team based off of analytics to win 100 games during the regular season, to win the division, and they're just hoping that works in the postseason. Guess what? In the postseason, analytics mean jack squat.
That's correct.
You've got to follow. You got to keep the hot arm in there. You got to pull your ace, a first ballot Hall of Famer, after he gives it the first 3 runs in the first inning. You pull him out. He's not getting out of there.
Yeah.
It's just bad management decisions done by analytics for a team that has a historical 10-year run of winning based off of analytics. The only team that has a longer tenure of winning the division and not winning a World Series, only winning 1 World Series. Do you know what that team is?
The Braves.
Exactly. The Atlanta Braves. But hey, at least your team had pitching then.
They had a shit ton of pitching.
They had a shit ton of pitching.
I mean, it hurts my soul to know that they could lose that much pitching, A, in one season, and then B, for Kershaw to just get hammered in that first game, and they just let him in there and continued to let him just beat that down, dude. Poor Kershaw. I don't know. I mean, like you said, the statistically bad bats is really rough to watch as a Dodgers fan. But I just want you to know, I went through the same thing as a Braves fan, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We both just watched the offense, just the wheels, all 4 come off at the same time. We're just sitting on the ground. I feel like that was a rough series to watch for both of us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So here's my solution to fix Major League Base, to fix the Dodgers going forward.
Okay.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Sign some pitchers.
Sign anybody.
Sign some pitchers. Okay. That's what it is. Do go and pay the best arms you can get and get them on this team.
Shohei.
Well, he's not pitching next year.
Not going to work.
But I do think you still need to sign Shohei. But they didn't help themselves this year in landing him. This kind of epic collapse is just, it's just one step better than what the Angels usually do.
I was going to say, he could do that just as good as the Angels.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments down below, folks. Let us know what you think if you're a Dodgers fan. Did we cover it? Did we hit all the bases there on the Epic's collapse? I mean, I mean, the Dodgers didn't touch any bases. I don't even think they got 1 to 3rd in this series. But anyway. Let us know in the comments down below if we missed anything, if there's something else that you'd like to cover. Also, folks, if you are a baseball fan and you'd like to have an air grievance, a therapy session as it will, let us know who your team is in the comments down below, and we will research it and we will do a what went wrong video for your team as well. So, folks, again, I think that does it for us for baseball.
Sure does.
Again, folks, we are on the grind to 1,000 subscribers. We're about 440, somewhere around there right now.
Yep.
So just about 560 to go. And we will be giving away the first $500 that we earn in AdSense revenue to 5 lucky subscribers. Each one will get $100 each. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and don't miss out on that.
Absolutely. We look forward to giving it away to you guys. Make sure you smash that subscribe button.
All right, folks. Well, that will do it for us here today at the DNA Sports Recap. As a reminder, folks, this is a podcast. So if you're watching this on YouTube, the full episode is available in podcast form on video underneath our playlist. You'll see that as playlist podcast. It's the only one we got there. You'll be able to see the full episode there. It's also available audio only wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure that you give us a review.
Yep. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like it, make sure you share it, and make sure you subscribe. Again, we're giving away that money as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. We're looking forward to getting that money away.
That's right. We're on the grind. If we get this video to 100 likes, we'll give away a t-shirt.
Always, bro. Yeah.
Whatever you guys want.
Smash it.
Let us know. All right, folks. Once again, my name is Darren. That is AJ. And this has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.